what that looks like. So um, I think, I mean, it's honestly, what kind of relationship do you have with these guys? Are we messaging them? Are we calling them? Are they connecting with you? Are they reaching out to you? I'm sure you're doing all those things with them. But I would just, I mean, like this morning we talked kind of more direct about what coaching looks like and what people feel like as far as doing action steps, not doing action steps, being on trainings, not being on trainings, going to events, not going to events. So it's almost like at this point in this level, especially a lot of you guys on here, we need to start, asking that question on a scale from 1 to 10, how successful do you want to be on this program? And start being okay with firing clients. And sometimes we get into that mindset of like, well, we need it for income. And then, which is true. I mean, I get it. We need to live, survive. That's why we started. That's what we wanted to do. But at the same time, if we start to almost have that posturing of just asking them, say, hey, I noticed, I mean, when a client cancels, I message them almost right away and say, hey, I noticed you canceled your order. Did you mean to do that? Or for you, Jennifer, referring to your numbers, I say, hey, I noticed your orders seemed a little bit light. Did you realize that that's not a full month's order? And you can shoot them a message like that and just see what their reference is. And then, like we talk about the 3-way celebration calls, if they're a struggling client, we can do a client call. You know what I mean? And we can do like a, what's your why? Why did you start the program? What does that look like? And then at the end of the day, if they're just wanting to kind of disconnect, then they're wanting to disconnect. You know what I mean? So, I mean, that's really how I would handle that. But I always, as soon as I see a cancellation or an order doesn't look right, I just message them and say, hey, did you mean to do that? I noticed your order's light, or hey, I noticed your order's not a full order. So, and then if they have a question or they don't want to get on or they don't, whatever, and I mean, at the end of the day, that's where it's at. You know what I mean? So cool. All right. Well, I think the coolest thing about tonight is we'll just kind of go over some action steps. So I know there's like a couple different things we can do. Do any of you guys ask for client referrals from your clients? Do you? Okay. Do you guys know about the message that you can actually ask your clients to post for you on Facebook too? So there's like did you realize I can't believe I lost X amount of pounds in my first 10 days and I'm really excited to have better energy and all that stuff. Ellen, you're looking, I know you probably don't know what that is, but Jennifer can probably get that out to you. Referrals are important, asking for referrals, asking them to share something on your timeline. You could ask them to, share one of your posts if they don't seem like a potential coaching client right away, things of that nature. Follow-ups, past clients, some of you are newer, past clients are something that you can kind of rewrap around, especially towards the end of the month. Follow-ups, I reach out to anybody. I honestly, sometimes I'll follow up with people too on a path where maybe they're not into the weight loss. And maybe you followed up with them a bunch, but you started to realize what their lifestyle was like on Facebook, and maybe reach out to them about the business opportunity and change the pace. You know what I mean? Because sometimes, like we kind of shared this morning at the breakfast, sometimes you don't want to pay attention to your health goals if your financial goals are out of whack. Like you're not even going to pay attention to that. You know what I mean? And so asking these people like, hey, I just was thinking of you, honestly, there's some other areas of this program that I think would be amazing. And I'm just noticing all your posts on Facebook and how you really interacted with your family or how you love to be out and about. Have you ever thought about extra income? And honestly, some of us, even if we're doing a follow-up, we can even refer it back to, hey, I noticed you were taking some time to think about doing the program. Is that because of, our finances tight? Would you be interested in exploring coaching and move it to the coaching aspect? So these are things that you can look at towards the end of the month. Posting extra. We talk about 5-in-1 posting or 3x3 posting and things like that, but you can up your posts twice a day. You know what I mean? Keep them in fluctuation of, personal posts to weight loss posts. Don't go overbearing with just weight loss posts, but healthy recipes, helpful tips, water tips, different things of that nature. Really evolving it and then really connecting with people. Another thing too is what was the last one I was going to say? Just skip my mind. But yeah, so does anybody want to come off and kind of share where their goals are for the end of the month and what they're hoping to do? I know Stacy just brought on a new coach. Are we doing a call tonight, by the way? That's okay. It happens.
Get a hold of her. She works all during the day, but I don't know. She hasn't replied back to me, so she was hoping for the evening. And I was kind of waiting.
Yeah, that's okay.
That's my ongoing struggle.
Yeah, no worries.
Coaches, but hey, on another note, consistency is totally. I'm proof that consistency pays off. Sorry, my background now is really loud. I've been posting consistently. You know, all the crazy. Lots and lots, a lot more than I normally do. And in the last 3 days now, I have 4 new clients and a new coach. So it's definitely proof that staying consistent, because people are like, I've been watching you for a while. I've been really watching you. I like all your posts that you're putting. So every single person that I have signed up so far in the last couple of days have all said that. I've been watching you, you know, so they're watching is my point.
Perfect.
Yeah. Cool.
And that actually just reminds me, Stacy, too. You know, Ellen, something else we talked about, because I'd love to have you at the Big Bear event. And Stacy, you too. You know, towards the end of the month, it's the 25th. What you can do is fabricate a message and just kind of shoot it out to literally like 100 people. And you can say something along the lines of, hey, Susie, really just wanted to reach out and connect with you. Maybe you know somebody that could benefit in health and wellness. I have 3 spots that just opened up in my program, and I would love to know if you knew anybody that could benefit. And literally you could mass blast that out to like 100 people now, and over the next 5 days, I mean, you could get at least 10 health assessments out of that, right? We talk about the 1 in 10. So if you shoot it out to 100 people, you get the 1 in 10. In fact, I messaged, I think I showed you guys last week, but I'm following up with this lady because of her health. She can't really give me, and of course people always think like, oh, I'll let you know about the program. I just wanted to see how she was doing. She still hasn't gotten answers on her health. You know what I mean? But just loving on the people, it doesn't need to be a direct, you know, ask of, which is a future, you know, client or coach, but you still want to love on the people where they're at. So what else do we have? I think that's it. Sending out our emails. We can send out our emails, kind of see what we're on track for as far as, you know, end of the month specials. Some of us, we can do incentives as far as, you know, $25 scholarships for ending the month strong. If there's that person that's really on the fence, you know, if you're in a position where your business is able to benefit that, you know, don't do it if it's coming out of pocket and you're not, you know, you don't really have a lot of clients. But just revisiting that list. So Ellen, were you going to say something? You were unmuted.
Yes, I saw your post about the kind of the mass message you put together about referrals, and I did do that. And even today, as I was at work, and I did get a health assessment set up, or in the process of setting up. So I'm working on that.
Perfect. Cool. Yeah. Awesome. I think another thing too is you know, going to friends of friends can be a buffer, because if you have mutual friends with people, when you send out these mass texts or messages to people, instead of people maybe you're just friending, you can go into like a really close friend that, you know, maybe they're not necessarily interested in coaching just yet, but you know, start looking at that. Because a great example is, like, I didn't directly do that, but for Stacy, she was kind of seeing me sign up a lot of her friends, which encouraged her to be a coach. I didn't directly do what I'm saying right now, but even going in and potentially talking to friends of friends on Facebook, and then you start getting clients from that and they notice it, you know, you can always revert back to, hey, this would be a great opportunity for you to coach. You have a lot of friends that are doing this. And we talked last month about how finances are really tight for you. And so revisiting those things. So the end of the month action, one of the biggest things too is don't slow down at the 31st like you landed, right? That's the thing, is once you get this thing rolling, these next 3 months are kind of pivotal to set up for January. So right now what we're doing, in fact, let me see if I have this. I think I do. You know, Jamil shows this picture all the time, but where's it at? Sorry, I should have had this up already. Where did she go? It was my fault. Maybe I saved it on the other computer. But anyways, we talk about how we start in August and we start talking to people, right? And it shows up in January. These next 3 months, guys, you know, for people that are coming on as well, December, people are taking vacations, or November. There's a lot of times where people want to get healthier through the holidays, and they have, you know, I think Thanksgiving and Christmas are like 2 of the biggest times for heart attacks, you know, in the year, believe it or not. So people are really looking at their health. Also, you know, coming for sharing with people now into December is where you can have them order their program ahead of time, because if they want to start on the 1st, that's where you have the opportunity to, well, it's 5 to 7 days shipping. So you might want to get started now. So December can be just as good as January, but we want to start now because we have September, we have October, right? There's Halloween coming up. We're going to do all kinds of incentives too. I know they'll start doing different incentives through the groups and the companies. So keep an eye out for those, like Cyber Mondays and all that stuff coming up. So position yourself now with what you're sharing with people and just create relationships. If you guys are doing a 3x3 and that's not comfortable for you, do 10x10, or do a 10x3x3, right? You don't need to post 10 times a day, but you can message 10 people a day. It just depends on what your goals are. I think the biggest thing we need to understand is it's a 1 in 10 rule. So for every 10 people we talk to, one's going to sign up or be interested right away. And that's to Stacy's point. If we're consistent enough at a high level, you're going to start to create those goals a lot faster, right? So we have our November event coming up in Phoenix, which you need to be executive director with 1 senior coach to go to that. We have my Big Bear event, which the qualifications are up. I don't know if you guys saw that. You need to be FIBC to go, which is 5 senior coaches and 6,000 of frontline. And I really want to create that cadence of that event, because I want it to be like my mini Sundance. So that's going to be my version of it. I'm going to bring more mental clarity, more mental focus, not just like, you know, let's go talk to 10 people a day and connect with them. This is going to be more about understanding how to create leaders, understanding working on ourselves, managing emotions, you know, not getting attached to people, things of that nature, how to support other people that need to manage their emotions. You know what I mean? So these events are going to be pretty good coming up. So I'm kind of excited for it. But do you guys have anything else you want to talk about tonight? Everybody's doing good?
For me, my struggles are my coaches, you know. Clients, I got that handled. It's my coaches that I'm really struggling with. A lot of months they're up to senior coach or above, and then they're really fluctuating, you know. I just have a hard time kind of lighting that fire under them. And I know you always say, you know, they have to want it too. I can't want it more than they do. And I get that. And I can't dwell on it. You know, I can go on to the next, but there's, you know, so many that are just so solid for so long, and then they kind of dwindle. Just having a hard time with that consistency, I guess.
Well, being transparent, you know, to be honest with you, that's where you got to dig down into their client base, reach around them. If they're not doing client celebrations, you know, connect with their clients. I think one of the things I shared a while back is when you see a coach add a client in the client group, I go friend them. If they're a newer coach, go friend them and say, oh my God, I'm so excited for you to join. I'm part of your support team. Really excited to look forward to your first week celebration call. Because then they're going to be like, well, what's that? And then you can start building coaches around that coach, right? You know, Kim Fisk talked about for years about how your first level coaches aren't really going to be the ones that do a lot of stuff. If they do, you're very lucky they are. So it's people that have introduced you to other people. You know what I mean? So that's kind of how it happens. So I would connect with those clients. I would reach even back out to those clients, because you don't know what's going to happen with those coaches. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But that's where you really want to create the structure. And that's why I'm slowing this boot camp down. The blended ED boot camp, we're slowing it way down as far as like creating your story. And then what is your why? And then Donald and Joy are going to come in this weekend with some awesome stuff on getting into action and really understanding what that looks like, because coaches can come out of the gate with excitement and just have energy behind signing up 5 people because they lost 50 pounds. But the structure of actually doing the action steps, the structure of actually supporting the clients properly and doing all those things, that's where we really need to slow it down, because once the high or the energy or the honeymoon phase of, man, look at me, comes, and are we doing the action steps, that's where the bread and butter shows up. That's where the nuts and bolts are. That's where it's like, well, nobody's signing up. Well, are you calling anybody? Are you messaging anybody? Are you posting? Are you going to events? Are you creating events? Are you getting on trainings? Right? So that's really what I'm excited about for this this boot camp, is because we're slowing it way down for the action process. You know, and like I said, if you guys have coaches that are struggling, let's get on 3-way calls. You know, that's the same thing like a client. Get on 3-way calls, reconnect their why, really focus on what they want to do, see where they're at. And sometimes it's a personal thing too, you know what I mean? You want to make sure that you don't get hit in the face with whatever that is, Stacy. No, you want to make
Only
sure
you can see what's going on over here.
I'm sure it's a nightmare. But no, you want to make sure that you see like personally what's going on. Sometimes it's the silliest thing that'll shut a coach down, and you keep asking them, okay, are we doing action steps? And they're not doing them. And they're, instead of saying, well, how are you doing? You know what I mean? Find out what's going on with them, so that way you can move them forward personally. And that's the same thing with creating a relationship before they even become a client or a coach. You know what I mean? So those are things I think that are good. So cool. So I think getting into action is important. Refocusing on what your goals are this week. We have 5 days left in the month, 6 days left in the month, 6 days left in the month, a couple hours left for today. But what I would say is get with your coach, your mentor coach, see what your action plan is for this month. Hopefully we filled out our map. Hopefully we know where we want to go, how many clients we want to bring on, how many coaches we want to bring on. And if, like I said, the 3x3 is a basis point. Most people get focused on the 3x3. But if you're not bringing on as many clients as you wanted to, if you have a goal of bringing on 1 or 2 more clients by the end of this month, well, you just know you got to talk to at least 20 or 30 people, right? That's kind of the law of what it is. So 30 people over the next 5 days seems like a lot, but it's really not. Break that down. What is that, 4 to 5 people a day, right? That's not that many. That's messaging maybe 5, 7 people a day. That's, you know, calling people on the phone, following up with them, and doing things like that. So, Bev, how you doing?
I'm good. I guess my biggest stumbling block right now is like how exactly to follow up without seeming like I'm bothering them. You know, like say I'll talk to them and say, hey, you know, talk to them about coaching or talk about a program, or I do a health assessment. And the health assessment part isn't necessarily so hard about following up, you know, just asking if they have any questions, things like that. I think I'm getting hung up on the coaching thing, like how to actually follow up with a coach, like, cause I'll send them Becca Tinter's, you know, like I'll talk to them, but also send them Becca Tinter's video on coaching, you know?
Yeah.
But then it's, you know, it's like, okay, then I follow up. And then they're like, well, I don't know if I'm really ready, but I don't really want to, I don't know. I don't know what to do at that point.
Well, I would just be excited about it for them and just say, hey, well, would you be interested in hopping on a call with my coach, you know, and exploring what's possible? They've been doing this a lot longer than I have. And it's not necessarily that you need to get going today, but at least you can kind of map out and see what's possible.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you can move it forward that way.
Okay.
But I think finding what their excitement is and what they're looking for, it's like following up with a client with a health assessment. The difference is sometimes we don't write down what they said financially or mentally, right? So we don't really know where to go. But if you write down all their health assessment stuff, well, it's like, well, hey, are you working on your blood pressure medication? Have you gotten to the gym lately and got down that 15 pounds? And same thing with the coaching aspect. Hey, we talked about a month ago, just wanted to follow up with you. How's everything going with those finances? I know you had engine or car trouble and you were trying to figure out how to pay for that. Or I know you were trying to figure out how to do X, Y, and Z. So, you know, and they'll probably come back to you. You know what I mean? So that's why, I mean, with this lady, Stacy right here, what did I say to her? She's got some medical issues, but I literally messaged her that verbiage of healthy body, healthy mind, healthy finances, all that stuff. And she's like, I could use all of it probably. And what did she say? So today, I mean, last week she gave me this big old thing. She was, you know, she's got some scares and she's got medical tests going. And I said, hi, how's everything going? And she literally said, hey, Justin, still doing more tests, not done yet. Doctor's coming back tomorrow. I'm going to be off work for a while. As soon as I know more details, I'll let you know. Thanks. He said, man, okay. Sorry they haven't gotten any answers for you yet. Praying for you, friend. Right? But this is the thing, is if we do that at a high level based on our goals, right? So if I do one person a month, I'll be integrated presidential in 20 years, right?
Right.
But we do 30 people in a week, well, there should be 3 in there somewhere. That's just a law of numbers. So that's like when you have a brand new coach, it's like, oh my God, I talked to a lot of people this week. Me personally, being in this for a while, I asked them, what does a lot mean? It's just like when you do a client check-in. Oh my God, I'm drinking so much water. Well, what's a lot of water? To them could be 30 ounces. Right? So to me, I would say, well, what's a lot of people? Oh my God, I talked to 8 people this week. Okay. Well, you got 2 more before you can kind of find maybe a client or maybe a coach, depending on which direction you are. So I know I went off a little bit of what your answer was, but just find out what their connection is and always relate it back to you. Like, why did you start coaching? Right? So if you're kind of lost in how to approach them, go back to visit your story and share with them. Say, you know, I know we talked about a month ago. I know I sent you the Becca Chinta video. Just wanted to see if you had any questions about it. No, I really don't. Okay. Well, you know what I'd love to do, if it's cool with you, is my coach actually has been doing this a lot longer. You can move it to a call, or even if you, hopefully we're following up with them on a phone call and just say, I just want to let you know that, you know, honestly, I got into this because I wanted more freedom. And I wanted to be able to have more income to be able to allow to do that. And honestly, last week or last month or 6 months ago or 3 weeks ago, you were sharing with me how this was this and this. Dude, honestly, how cool would it be? Like, let's just think about it for a second. How cool would it be if we could get that accomplished?
Right.
And talk to them about it. And then say, you know, is there anything lately that's just been bothering you? Oh, well, you know, I just work so many hours and my kids and I don't have time to be out with them. Well, dude, how awesome would that be? Right? So just like the health assessment, it's easy to follow up with the health assessment because you have a guideline. So do yourself a favor when you're talking to these people, note down like what's important to them financially. And if they don't say a number financially, that's fine. Things that they say, travel. I wish we could get more sick time because work's just a pain in the butt, or I'm working 12-hour days. So they want less hours to work, but more financial stability. And then I would just follow up with them with that and just be open with them.
Yeah, no, that makes sense, because what I haven't been really noticing is, you know, a lot of people don't go on program because they don't have the money right now.
Yeah.
And that's their excuse.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, well, you know, I can't afford it right now because I have either medical bills or I have this or my kids, or I can't afford to do this because of that. But the reality is, if they became a coach, it would pay for itself, right?
Yeah.
So,
hey, I could show you honestly how we can acquire 5 clients and pay for your program. Would you be interested in doing that?
yeah. Okay.
And if they say, yeah, I always say, like I told the lady today, she's like, I got all these people that I want to get on the fence. If you're not sure what to do, hey, would you be interested in getting on with my coach and kind of exploring what's possible? Take about 20 minutes. They've been doing it a lot longer than I have. And I'd love for them to kind of share some tips and ideas on how we could get you to do it. Because I know based on this, and you reiterate what they said to you, you know, headaches, not being able to play with grandkids, feeling like blah, no energy, bad sleep, CPAP machine, high blood pressure, you know, based on, and read that off to them, dude, they've been doing this so much longer than me. I know they'll have some exciting tips that we can probably move you forward with. And if it's financial, dude, honestly, we could show you how to acquire 5 clients. I'm sure you've had exercise friends in the past or people that you kind of know or been talking about losing weight or getting healthy. We could partner with them and I'll coach them with you and you could afford the program.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That's going to help. So,
I think something that, based on what you're saying, and I'm not saying you are doing this directly, so don't take me that way, but I'm just had like this little thought in my head. It's the energy in which we put this in. And what I mean by that is if you get on the phone and it's like, hey, Susie, how you doing? Well, I'm good. I'm just stressed and I don't think I can get on program. And you know, I talked to my husband about it and just finances are so tight and our dog got hit by a car and that's $2,000, or we got a flat tire or the fridge went out and oh my God, you know, that's horrible. You know, okay, well, you know, no problem. It's all good. You know, I don't want to stress you out and we'll talk soon. Instead of saying something like that, say, oh my God, Christy, Like, do you know what this means to me? Like, to hear all this stuff? Because it's kind of like what I was going through, and that's what I don't want. And I totally, totally feel you right now. But this is what's amazing about this, dude. We could get on a call with my coach and we could show you, because life's going to happen, right? No matter what we do, life's going to happen. In 6 months from now, where are our finances really going to be? Are we going to get caught up? Do we feel like it's going that route? Just be honest with me. Like, what do you think? Well, yeah, I don't know. Maybe, yeah, or whatever, right? Or it's just a fluke right now. Okay, but dude, imagine the next time something like this comes up, if we can be prepared for it. How cool would that be? So not only can we get healthy in the process, but I can show you, like, in case something happens like this right now, like the fridge blew out, or the tire, or the dog got hit by the car, you could have an extra savings account. How fun would that be? All will get into your health goals. And then, like I said, if you want to get on a call with my coach, he's been doing it a lot longer. I mean, that's the method of it. If you're doing 2 to 3 Coach Explorer calls a week, that's rad, right? If you're fumbling with people that want to get on program and they financially can't afford it, let's get on a call. You know what I mean? Those are the things, is you want to have the energy behind it, because sometimes we feel like, oh, well, they're down in the dumps, and life's just, it is where it is, so I don't want to bother them. So I'm just going to shut down shop right now. I don't.
I mean, I have a lot of people that are interested in program. They just can't, think they can't afford it, right?
It's okay.
They can't afford it, right?
Well, that's also dissecting their day too. Make sure we're going through their day, like check your grocery list. Let's see how much you're spending. And they always say, well, it's me plus my family. It's not just me. But no, I get you. But I'm just saying, have energy behind it sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes we can get on the call, and if we hear all this no stuff, then we're kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
Instead of embracing it and going in and leaning in with it. You know what I mean? Go ahead, Stacey.
I just want to piggyback off of that, because I totally understand what you're saying. I was having that struggle in the beginning too, thinking, oh, I have so many people that are saying they can't afford it. But check yourself. Like, are you confident? I had to check myself. I had to say, like, am I confident in the way that I'm presenting it? Am I making it sound like, oh, I know, I understand, it's a little tight, like, I know we're not used. So I had to reword it. So when I started to say, if they're like, oh, well, how much does it cost? Say, you know what? And once you explain everything in the whole month, one second, babe. Once you explain the whole month and everything, and they're like, oh, I don't know. I said, do me a favor. And I'm really confident when I say it. I said, do me a favor. I need you to get back to me in a week. And I want you to start writing down what you're spending in the week. Eating out, Starbucks, drive-throughs, grocery, everything. Just start calculating it for me. And you'll be surprised how much you're really going to be saving on plan, and go through explaining it that way and be really confident in how you present it. My world has changed completely. I'm not even afraid when it gets to that cost part. I'm like, yeah, let me break it to you. It's amazing. It's so cost effective. My husband was saying, I can't believe, when you get off program, we're going to, be spending so much more than we were before when you were on program. We saved so much money. So being really confident in how you present that changed the way people heard my tone, like how I was saying it completely. It's not even an issue anymore. And those that can't afford, it's like, great, get back to me in a week. Just start calculating everything, and then we'll talk. And you'll be so surprised how much you're already spending. People just aren't used to spending X amount of dollars, up front for the entire month. But I guarantee you're spending far more than you were prior to program. So kind of rewording it a little bit differently, and just your confidence when you say it. I don't even have an issue anymore about that. It's like, when people are ready, they're ready. It's not even a cost issue at all. It's like, okay, great. How do I sign up? And kind of comforting them too, knowing that, hey, if you're not happy in 30 days, you get your money back. I mean, there's no loss to start, knowing that they're not trying to scam you into your money or anything. So I don't know, just a little tip that's been helping me lately.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks. That helps. Appreciate it.
I think it's all in the energy of partnership, right? Like, you want to make sure that you're aware you're not that person that's just, like Stacey said, you change that energy about it. It's like, hey, let's get back together and let's reconvene. Like, I'm not just like, hey, this is something for you, as Dave Harrison likes to say, merp, and then he's off. You come back and say, hey, well, let's talk in a week. Let's get together. Let's partner. Let's see what your costs look like, and let's kind of focus on that. And then I'll get back with you in a week or so. And then, like I said, the same thing I'll say again is, it's how many people are we doing that with, right? A week or a month. Most human nature, and if you guys didn't hear anything I said on this whole call tonight, is when we when we start to see things that we feel to be true, when we start to see, well, people aren't signing up, the most human nature thing to do is shut down. And then you prove yourself right. Instead of leaning in and saying, well, those last 25 people I talked to weren't ready, so I'm going to go talk to 50. Right? It's literally, if we can do the opposite of that, it leans in. Dude, I got back into action today, and I already have 5 follow-up calls with 5 potential coaching partners within like a 2-hour window. And that was in between running different calls with coaches and doing stuff and running around and being at breakfast and all that stuff. Literally on how you have the energy, how you think, so it shall be, right? You reap what you sow. If you're sowing some bad stuff, you're going to reap some bad stuff. If you're thinking energetic and you're putting it out there with a positivity, that's a big shift too. Like I said, that's not directed to you, Bev. That's just some ideas to think about when we're talking to people. What's our tone? How's our energy level? You know, Dan Valentine, talk to that guy. He goes and paces the floors. He like has to motivational speak himself before he can even get on a call with people. But whatever he's doing before he gets on that call, I mean, integrated presidential, he's doing something right. He's getting motivated. You don't need to just be like, okay, all right, I'm gonna talk to these few people. You know what I mean? Get outside. Go stand out there. I like to go out front and like walk around for a second. All right, I'm gonna talk to this dude. Like, what's he potentially gonna say? Dave Blanchard says something that's amazing. Whenever he speaks to us or he speaks to a crowd, he gets up an hour earlier that day and he sits in a dark room with his eyes closed and he envisions how it's going to go. So that's the same thing you can do with these calls. How is this crowd going to be? How is this person? What do I know about this person that I'm going to cut off right at the beginning? Well, they're kind of a negative person. So let me think, what are some scenarios that I could keep this in a positive light? What are some things that I could share with? Or, you know, oh my God, this guy's just so energetic. He talks so much. Like, what are some things I can keep this call to a successful call without staying on the phone for 4 hours, right? So whatever that path is, think about it and then build yourself up to it. It's like motivational stuff. Like, I listen to motivational stuff every morning. The way you wake up and whatever you hear, or even if you don't hear anything, your mindset, whatever you first kind of think about, like, how's today? Not really feeling it. Don't do that. Listen to some motivational stuff. The most successful people do that. They don't just show up every day with all sunshines and rainbows in their head every 5 seconds. You still need that. So just doing these calls, you know, and then like I said, upping the numbers. If you're not at your goals right now, up the numbers. You know what I mean? That's literally the magic to the money. So cool. Des, I was just kind of free flowing with stuff. I know you were on another training call, but just kind of open conversation, how to end the month strong. I was sharing with them some stuff. In fact, I even gave Desiree some great tips. I talked to her about, you know, doing some follow-ups with some clients, potential, you know, leads that they could share with her, or even, what was another one was that little message, you know, having a client their first week, building energy bond. That's a great way to bring on a coach too, Ellen. Just a little side tip. You know, you could say, hey, here's an awesome little message that you could listen, or you could post on your timeline, and I'll actually respond to all of it just like you would do a Facebook grand opening. You know what I mean? But what's cool about it is hey, if you got some friends that are rocking and rolling and they're really excited about it, dude, you should coach them. You could totally pay for your program. Or maybe, you know, we talked about that last week, how, you know, like I said, the tire went flat, or schools are tight for kids, or whatever the budget is. That's where you could, you know, potentially bring on a coaching partner too. So these are some cool tips. I'll have Jennifer get you that message out. But well, cool, ladies. Any other things you want to talk about? Yeah. You want to say something, Luann?
What you were just speaking about, that you spoke to Desiree about, talking, that I'd like the information on that also.
Oh, the message. Yeah, I'll get the message. I gotta find it.
Now, I've been sending out every day 100 messages. The one that says good morning or good evening, and all I'm getting back, like, good evening, hope today finds you well. Wanted to reach out and see if you know of anyone looking for a few improvements in their lives, maybe better health or finances, less stress, more time freedom. I have 3 spots open for my program and wanted to reach out to see if you know of anyone. all I'm getting, I mean, 99% of the people that I'm getting says, nope, sorry, I don't. So is there another way that I can reply, or all I say is all is well. If you hear of anyone at church, because I know he's a pastor, who maybe be going through some health issues, would you mind sharing them with me, sharing me with them? And then he'd say, if appreciate, yes. But I mean, I'm not getting very far on those. I'm getting more on my Facebook postings versus those ones that I'm sending out like 100 a day.
Okay. Well, I mean, I think it just depends on the crowd too.
Okay.
Like, who are you? Are you just blasting it out to everybody? I like to target certain people when it comes to that kind of stuff. Like, I look at their news feed and see like, who's a successful person, who's a business owner, because when you're bringing up money in that aspect, you kind of want to target a crowd.
Okay.
You know?
I thought
But,
when we were on the boot camp, you said send them out to like 30 or 50 people on, that you know. I didn't know we were supposed to target. Now that I know we have to target, then I'll be looking into their newsfeed.
well, no, it's almost like you got to know your numbers, like a restaurant. And Des, I'll let you say something in a second. Sorry. It's almost like you know your numbers in a restaurant. After a certain amount of months, you start to know how much chicken you eat a day, or how much orange juice you guys go through, how much coffee you go through. You got to find rhythms, right? If that's not working, then maybe start trying to target certain people. So there's just different directions you can go with stuff. You know what I mean? So that's what I was saying. I'm trying to find this message. Go ahead, Desiree. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I mean, if you're not super attached to the 100 number, maybe even do 50, but make it more direct to those people. Like, make sure you're using their name.
Yes, I do.
Okay, perfect. And then maybe even, chatting up something that has to do with whatever's on their Facebook page first.
Okay.
I just saw, blah, blah, blah. That's amazing. Hey, not sure if you know what I do, but if you happen to know anybody who's looking to gain weight, lose weight, or get off of medications, please connect me with them if you have any friends or family that you can think of. I always say friends and family so that their first light bulb that goes off doesn't think that we're trying to get them, right? So if we pawn it off on friends and family that they might know, then it gives them the opportunity to say, actually, I've been kind of interested, without feeling ambushed in a sense.
Okay.
I think another thing too, Luann, is how active are you as far as engaging with these people on Facebook?
Going into their Facebook and making a comment and 2 likes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But are you doing more than that though? That's like the 3 and 3 method. Like that's like a superficial way to engage, but you got to like engage with people. Like Stacy Pope, I get on there. Oh my God, your daughter's so cute. Or I go over here to this person, dude, that's a sick boat, man. And then I'm all over their newsfeed for like, 2-3 months. So there is the like comment thing and then go message them. That does work in a sense, but you have to be a little bit more interactive. That's what I'm saying. Rhythms of things that work, if a coach is very successful in something and all of a sudden they notice like, wow, I'm not bringing on as many clients. Well, what did you change? Well, you went from messaging a bunch of people to do maybe more posts, or you're not messaging as many people, or you're not commenting as much. You got to kind of pay attention to what works for you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So it's all in the matter of like paying attention to like, okay, so I messaged these people, and then go look at who you messaged, like click on their news feed, right? So like there's a lot of people in some of these groups I'm in, like River Whips, Desert Whips, all this stuff. I'm constantly on these guys' pages all the time. And then like, so this guy the other day, where's he at? Joe, I think it's Joe or Lee, excuse me, Lee. This dude, he owns 2 businesses. I don't know what they are exactly, but I know he makes really good money. Owner at AAA Roofing Services and studied at Pierce College, and then he owns something else. So, dude, he's a roofer. That's cool to know because I used to be a roofer. But anyways, I just literally hit him up and I said, hey man, morning Lee. But I've been engaging with like his family, his 2 daughters. He's a boating guy. You got to be more than just the like comment stuff too sometimes. You know what I mean? It's the rhythm of, and then also how engaged are you on your posts? You know what I mean? So like, let's just look for a second. As far as like what we're posting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do we ask open-ended questions? Use a GIF. That's a good one. I like that one. Yeah, this is good stuff, man. I think, I mean, your post is awesome. I think your posts are awesome. So I think just engaging more. So maybe interacting with these people a little bit more. You know, you're a grandma yourself. Get into get into a grandma group and start loving on those people. You know what I mean? Or
Okay.
if you just see kids, oh my God, you make me miss my grandbabies. That's a cute sweater. You know, Cash, my grandson Cash, whatever, I bought him this sweater from Disneyland or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like get into a little bit more stuff. Because dude, honestly, I've been on these posts. Now I got this Cindy Summers lady from River Whips. I don't really know her. She's all over my newsfeed, like almost every one of my posts. But dude, I was engaging with her. Like she's over here at the river. Oh, that's so cool. Wish I was there. Just small stuff, you know, small talk. So I think engaging more, you'll find more of that than it's just a like comment. That remember, the 3x3 works sometimes if you're at a certain pace, but if you're trying to ramp it up, then you got to do other stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So just kind of try to pay attention to what exactly you're doing and note it down. Well, like comment's not working. So maybe comment, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's the idea behind it. You got to see where you're at with stuff and then find things that make sense for you. You know, a lot of us, like I said, I've said this in the past, but a lot of us get into like, oh, well, I'm a health coach. So I'm going to go to a diabetic group. I'm going to go to a weight loss group. I'm going to go over here. No, go to like a grandma's group or go to like a, you know, a whatever, policeman's wives group. I don't know, like dirt biking group, like boating group. You know what I mean? Like things like that. So whatever makes sense for you, you know what I mean? And then engage with them. Sometimes I get into like a message off with people too, you know what I mean? And just see what that looks like. So cool.
Thank you.
Yep. Was this helpful? Okay, cool. Awesome, ladies. Well, cool. I think we're good. Did we get a picture? Luann's on it. She's got the picture down. I got to get rid of this greased lightning hair, dude. This is insane. I don't know what the hell happened, but you have to fix that.
Like 7th grade.
Huh?
Like 7th grade.
Yeah, I need to. Well, I wanted a haircut, and I'm over the faux hawk thing because I look like the little boy with the hair in the front. But I'm gonna change it. Anyways, all right, ladies. Well, you have some fun. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great weekend, and then we'll reconnect next week. So remember, up the numbers. We got 5.5 days, 5 days left in the month. Really, just up the numbers. Don't get in that funk just yet, right? Mentally. So, and then let me know if you need help. All righty. We'll talk to you soon. Have a good night.